Hello, this is Luke from Cold War Collectors, and I'm here with Webbing Wednesday. So this is the Dutch webbing from the 50s through the 90s, but this particular setup would be more correct for late 70s through all of the 80s, but I tend to go more towards early, but I've got a lot of later items, so maybe early to mid 80s. So I'm not going to talk about the Model K, which I do have, you saw in the other video, but I'm just going to talk about what I have out here, and then a few items I have put back that I'm going to bring out when I'm ready for it. Now, as you can see, it's pretty simple, pretty basic, not very much going on. So let's start here. You've got the buckle, and the buckle on the other side. Sorry, it's dark. But, then you have your braces over each, and they connect at the back. There's this little, one of them has a loop on it, and you loop it through to keep them from sliding over your shoulders. Now, they were meant to go to the this is part of the British Pattern 37 webbing. That's the design, but many nations used it after World War II. But it was meant to clip or buckle to a buckle on the top of the ammo pouches. Well, the Dutch didn't wear that type of ammo pouch. Well, they did up until early to mid-70s. Then they stopped carrying ammo pouches at all. And I just explained why in the other video, but I'll explain that here in a moment. But as you see here, there's this new attachment. And they had these during World War II for people who didn't carry those pouches, like, and the people who didn't carry the special pouches which hold, like, clips instead of, well, they all held clips, but it was a special version for, I want to say artillery, I don't remember. But usually, like, officers would have these. But post-war in the Netherlands, everyone had these, because they didn't have ammo pouches and there's nothing to attach it to, so they had to attach their suspender somehow. And what it is it's a separate piece. You put it on the belt, and then you loop the brace through it, and then you've still got that loop at the top for the backpack. Now, there's that on each side, but on this side it's covered by the gas mask. This is the gas mask bag. This is of Canadian manufacture. But the Dutch ones look very similar. They had a later type as well, but we're not talking about that because I don't have it. But earlier on, from what I understand, they did use Canadian-made ones because the masks were made in Canada. So, this is accurate. Now, I don't know exactly what went in each pocket. I don't know what went in this big outside pocket. I can only assume decon kit goes in the side. But I don't know exactly what decon kit they had. They had this, like, long tube thing, which had, like, solution in it. So I don't know if that's for the decon kit. Maybe that's for other accessories. I really don't know. Now, I also don't have the mask. But what they used is the Canadian C3, but it was an export version. It had a special thing on the... It had a voice cover. So I still need to get one of those. But, as you see, it's got loops on the back, which I have a special harness that comes with the mask carrier attached to it. Now, you can put it directly on the belt, but I don't think that was done very often for the main reason that you have to have your gas mask on you all the time, and if it's attached to your webbing, that means you can't take your webbing off. So this is better. This means you can take your webbing off. Now, generally, you'd wear your mask under your webbing, and then it'd just sit lower, but I've just got it sitting up here because I'm kind of out of table space. But you see how one strap comes up over your shoulder, right, like that, and then you've got another strap, your waist strap, which will go around right here. And this one's metal. I've got the plastic one as well, but this is what I had attached, so I just left it alone. But yeah, that's the gas mask bag, and very simple. You just pull this. It's hard to do one-handed. But you pull that, and once the Velcro comes undone, it just kind of unfolds, and then there would be your mask. Very simple. Now I'm going to remove this just so it's not in the way. Now here we see the very basics. You have your shovel and cover, and I don't know exactly where it's supposed to go. I've mentioned this before in the other video that it doesn't see. I've seen it in several different places. I've seen it like over here, here. Now I've got it over one, but next to the other of these loops on the back, there are two for the braces to attach to the back. I've seen this, and then I've seen one where it was in between the two, which I have no idea how they did that because it doesn't fit very well. But someone did it. But I usually keep it right around here, close to the very back. That way you have space for your gas mask, and that way they're not like interfering with each other. Now, shovel. I went over all this in my Dutch collection, but, you know, going over it for people who just want to watch the webbing video for Webbing Wednesday. And I'm sorry this video is coming out late. I'm filming this at like 8:30 or so because I was busy today, and then I was going to do it tonight after I downloaded this game, and it was supposed to be short. Well, it's not short. I'm not done with it, but it got late, and I paused, and I'm just like, let's do this video real quick. So, the shovel is just your standard trifold. Now, the cover is US. It's also 2001 or 2. I don't remember what, or maybe it's not dated. I don't remember. It's 2003. It is dated, but it's not the proper. But I need to get a 80s dated one. US is fine because the Dutch did use US made covers, but the shovels were Dutch. Now this looks black like the US ones, but it's actually, because the lighting's not that great, it's actually like a greenish color. And this one is Dutch. It's got the marking. Shit. KL 87. I never remember what the K stands for. It's Royal in English. I can't remember what it is in Dutch. And then the L is Landmacht, which is land forces, as far as I'm aware. Pronunciation might be bad. But that's that. Then you've got your canteen. This is a rubberized-ish material. But it's very similar to the World War II US style. But before we go into that, let's just say the suspenders are basically, the braces, are basically the same as the World War II British. They're basically identical except for tabs are black and it's more of an olive color instead of the khaki. But otherwise they're the same. Well, the belt is also very similar except the fittings are black, and then also it's got holes on the bottom because they used US and British equipment. They kind of mixed it. And they had to be able to use M1910 wire hangers like that. Now, I showed the canteen in my Dutch collection video, which I recommend you watch if you're interested in this stuff. But canteen is plastic. It's 1987 dated. And the cup's in there as well, and it's 1956 if I remember proper. And actually, I will take it out. I was going to say I wasn't, but might as well. It is 1958. There you go. Very similar to the US one, but I think it's more so the British style. Because the US actually had a different style canteen cup at this time. They came out with the butterfly hangers in, I want to say 74 with Alice, or 73 around the time Alice, the new Alice gear came out. But that's a different topic for a different video. Now, that pretty much covers it. Now, ammo pouches. They didn't carry them after mid-70s usually, except for like the Marines and then in Lebanon. But the thing is that during World War, if a war had broken out, World War III, the Cold War gone hot, whatever, in Germany, Dutch forces were to deploy to the northern section of Germany, and a scout on the border would have a 3-minute life expectancy. So the Dutch concluded that, you know, if war broke out, by the time you needed more ammo, plenty of ammo would be around from the dead soldiers. And I can't confirm 100% that that's accurate, but, I mean, it makes sense, I guess, and that's what I've been told. But they carried 2 magazines, one in the weapon, and then one in their pocket. That's 40 rounds total. That's not very much. They used the G3. Now, I've got a few more items that, let me grab them real quick. They are the packs. We'll start with the one big pack that I have, and I showed this in the other video. I showed all of this in the other video, but it's big, rubberized, and this one's 1989, I believe. It's a giant single cell. Now, I don't know exactly what the tabs on the bottom for. They're for attaching it, but I've never seen these used, so I don't know. But the large packs were not carried into combat. They were not really worn rarely. They were left in the vehicle usually. And the small packs would be carried on certain missions, but not always. And I'll show you the small pack in a moment. But the large pack, let's see what it's dated real quick here. It's 1989. But they, as far as from what I understand, these were introduced. This type of equipment, this rubberized material, was introduced in 1984. And the shovel, the folding shovel with that cover, was introduced in late 70s, 78, 79, and issued very quickly. So by 83, which is the year I usually do, but since some of this stuff's a little later, I settle on like 84, 85. But, like, you know, that would be accurate for 83 on up. It'd be accurate for like 81 on up, honestly. Maybe even 80 on up. Just look at photos is the best thing I can tell you. And I did a video with some photos, so... Now, it's just one giant cell inside with two flaps, and you tie the string. But here's something that I have in here to keep it shaped best I can for this video. There's something I forgot to show on the other video, on my collection video, so you'll get this as a bonus. It's a Dutch chemical suit in the original packaging. The pants and the smock. Or the trousers and the smock, whatever. And it's from 1980. So there you go. That's that. Now, next item. This is more older style. This is the small pack. And I've only got 3 of the 5 straps that you need to put on it. One I'm missing, and then I'm missing 2. I put the 3 that I have, one on the bottom one and then one on the top. Now, this strap shouldn't be there, but I had it there because I use this as a bag to carry some games. But it just kind of shows you how you can do that on the sides. And this is just a brace, one of the braces, as you can see. And this one, I believe, is also Dutch. It's just a spare one I have. But that just shows you how you can carry it like that. But how you're supposed to wear it, and I showed this in the Dutch video. I showed you it, but I said it didn't make much sense. But I put the L straps on. You buckle them onto the tongs like that. This one's World War II British, by the way. I don't know... it's been blancoed on one side. I don't know if the Dutch would have used that, probably early on, but I don't know if this late, but I just got it as a set together, but this one's actually Dutch, this left one, but the right one is British, so I don't know what's up with that. I mentioned that in the collection video as well. But it just buckles on to the strap here, and down here, now you've got straps for your backpack, right? But then, see these little L clips, these little clips? I mentioned something about that. They clip to the top. They go over your shoulders and clip to the top. That right there. Like that. And I can't really show you now, but I've only got 2 minutes left because I can't go over 15 minutes. So let me open this quickly and show you the final pack real quick. This one has 3 cells, just like the World War II British ones. Let me open this quick because I gotta be rather quick here. Now, I apologize, my games are in there, but whatever. Not all of them, but anyways. You have 1 big cell in the back, and you have 2 smaller cells. And one would be for the mess kit, another one would... I don't remember exactly what goes in here. I had a list, I just need to check it, but... mess kit, socks, underwear, shaving kit, I don't know what else you'd carry. But these would sometimes be carried into combat. You'd be, depending on the mission, but for light combat, if you're just going to engage and probably be back, or if you're with your vehicle, you'd leave it. But if you're going out for a few days, you'll have it with you most likely. Now this is the canvas one, so this would be earlier on, up until 83, 84, 85. And then they came out with the plastic stuff, like that big pack. Well, I got the small pack equivalent. Now this one does have the things for a strap, but it doesn't have loops for straps, but that's that. Oh. Sorry about that. Here's the back with the L straps. Same function. And the inside, if I remember correctly, it's divided into 2 pockets. There's just a line in there. But I can't open it. I'm out of time. So that's pretty much it for this video. So remember to subscribe, comment, and rate. I mean, that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask down below.